Granth Sahib actually talks about what is a guru or God. It mentions that hukum, which means the order, is guru. So it's the hukum can be different for him, for me, and for her, but it's all God. So there is a very famous fable about a 10th guru when he meditates and goes back to God, and he thinks that, okay, I would be absorbed in the Almighty, but he's sent back again to the world. It's like, but I have done everything in life that I can be a part of you. It's like, yes, that's your hukum, to go and cherish that, go and inspire those people. So that was his hukum, his order. So that was God for him. So God is not a physical form or a person, it's order for you, which can be different from me.
And in the Guru Granth Sahib, it really does emphasize the fact that we are all God, that we are all that divine truth and beingness here in physical form to be. So is that something that through that tragedy has been strengthened, that in this community you each see one another as that God, and it has been strengthened, and how do we allow others that are not able to see the God in themselves now see that?
See, getting back to just what you said and what your question is, this is true in every major spiritual belief. Okay, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Okay, Islam means surrender to God's will. Muslim is one who has surrendered to God's will. So this concept of surrender to divine will is present in all spiritual teachings. Okay, when I take the shirt off, it's la, take it off. Allah is a negation of that. That which cannot be removed from me is Allah. So that concept of God being within you, part of you, is present in all spiritual religions. Okay? Me and my Father are one. Okay? And unfortunately, we have created creeds and the Council of Nicaea and other places which have interpreted the teachings of the spiritual guru differently. And I think that's where part of this problem comes from. When you start to realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe the Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, the Jyot, the Ein Sof, the Buddha awareness, maybe it's all the same thing.
Yes.
And maybe we're all calling different, we're using different names for the same thing, which goes back to everyone's on the same journey. And maybe Solomon's temple is actually my physical body. And this is the altar that I have to go find and light up. Maybe that's what Harminder Sahib is all about. Maybe that's symbolic of the human mind. Maybe the 12 lamps on either side are the cranial nerves. The tunnel underneath is the spinal cord. The pituitary gland is represented by the Guru Granth Sahib. There's a lot of symbolism in religions, in the spiritual teachings, which have been converted to rituals and religion. So I believe every spiritual belief has this concept of oneness. And since there is only one, there's no other source for you to come from. It is, you are part of that oneness, and that oneness is the ray that shines out so that glory can be manifested and the experience can be created.
Continuing with what he said and what you mentioned about the difference between your heart and your brain, we all believe that everyone comes from him, the Almighty. So we are just small portions of that. So every soul is beautiful, whether it's from a good person or from a bad person. His mind can be polluted, but his soul isn't, because it's a part of that Almighty. So when that guy on August 5th actually came and just opened fire, and there were 5 people who were killed and 6 people who were killed, including him. So we even prayed for him, because it was his soul that came here. It was his good soul. Its mind was polluted, so we prayed. Probably the next life he could come and embrace this. It was his soul.
See, in the Guru Granth Sahib it says, Dui Kudra Sajye Kad Asan Ditojat, which means from himself he created a dual form. And now he sits in his creation and enjoys it. And there's another line that says, Krishna Kaya Nanaka Sab Kuch Apya. When he himself is all, to whom shall I complain? Okay? And to me, people use the words like a polluted mind, but you have to realize what that is. It's actually a gift. Okay? In order for you to participate in this drama of life, you have to be given the illusion that you're separate from God.
Yes.
That is the ego. The ego is the Maya, is the illusion which gives you a sense of separation from God. In that ego we come, and the Guru Granth Sahib talks about this, that we're born in ego, we do everything in ego, and there's a difference between ego and pride. In the Guru Granth Sahib, in our culture, we talk about the 5 evils, and pride is one of them, which is hankar. Home is ego. Home is a sense of separation from the divine. Okay? And when you're in that sense of separation, you are allowed to experience this. It is a gift given to you. The mind is the instrument that you use for your spiritual being to interact with this physical world. There's no other way to do it. So the mind is a gift, the home is a gift. There's nothing evil about any of those in my book. And your mind is a collection of all your thoughts. Everything you've been taught as a child, you're a girl, you're a boy, you're a man, you're a woman, you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, all of those filters are collected together in the mind. And no one talks about this as beautifully as Eckhart Tolle does.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in a mind-creating, egoistic consciousness. That's who we are. But that is the gift we have given ourselves to experience this wonderful place that we call the world, the earth.
Yes. Yes, beautiful.
And so to me, when I see someone, and judge not least to be judged, one of the 5 evils we're talking about in Sikhism is judgment. You don't know why the other person is doing what they're supposed to do. If you want to experience forgiveness, somebody has to be mean to you, has to give you the opportunity to experience forgiveness. So when I see someone doing something, I don't judge because I know they're doing what they're supposed to. It may not make sense to me on my human level, it may not make sense to me, but I go back to what I said originally. If the Creator is perfect, the creation has to be perfect.
Yes.
I know we have to wrap this up, but I want to say one thing.
Yes.
As a Christian woman, it's very easy for all of you to understand there is no separation between the love inside. So when you say to a Christian woman who was grown up in the church, just go inside, you don't understand what you're saying, because all of you never were forced to separate that. As a Christian, we're taught, the majority of us are to see that power outside ourselves, and we are never worthy of having something that you all grew up with. I've had to struggle very hard, and I am not alone in understanding that it's not, when you say the word unknown to us, we equate that with evil.
Yes.
And to be a good Christian woman, you don't charter into the places that we have been called evil. We're not encouraged to find our own answers within. We are taught to separate those entities that we could never be as powerful as the source that you all already have. So I think part of the struggle that is going through the awakening right now is that people of my faith have to understand that we will not burn, we will not be sent to a place of evilness if we allow ourselves to open that door to the messages that we're talking about. We are not taught to look at symbols. We are not taught to understand that each person that crosses our path has a message or a mirror back to us, because we're only in our lane, and our lane means that we only look to one source, and it is not within us. I struggle every day between being okay with what you all have, and I try not to be envious, but I don't see that they struggle with their own oneness because you already have it. When you're sitting on this side, it's a constant checking, meditation, prayer, and fear sets in the minute that you begin to understand there's great power in getting your own messages for your life. But people are too afraid to go there. And I think what we're all trying to say is, I don't want to be Sikh. I love my Christian faith, but it's time and it's okay for people to pass through that threshold of religious fear, because my life is a perfect example of the blessings that you get once you pass through that threshold that keeps us all from knowing the unknown. And the unknown is in your eyes, it's in my eyes, and it's okay. And if we just do one person at a time, we will get there.
Thank you, Jillian, for that intimate and vulnerable expression, because I think you're speaking for so many people that are out there, whether they are the Christian faith or any other faith, whether they've gotten caught up in their own heads with their own negativity, or they have wrapped such a structure around what is their dogma that they don't let themselves outside of it. So thank you for that.
You know, in Christianity, in Matthew it says, when thy eye be single delight, or will fill you. It talks about the 7 seals of the book of Revelations. When you open the 7 seals, you will see the light of God. These are all symbols in Christianity that talk about God being within you, that you have to come up to the chakras. The person who's worthy of opening the 7 seals is a sacrificial lamb. That's the person who has sacrificed their ego, 7 eyes, and now they've ascended that 7 staircase to heaven. That's what Muhammad had to climb when he went with Prophet Gabriel to see God. Every major spiritual tradition has it. The problem is that they've been converted to a religion and the teachings have become altered. But to me, every spiritual tradition talks about this. When Jacob met the 7 virgins at the well, he married the 6th, but eventually got to go to the 7th. It is all about a spiritual progress. And Christianity has a meditation. Unfortunately, out of 50 Gospels in 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea, only a few were kept. And there's this concept of you, the church, and God. It is only through me that you can get there. And my neighbors will tell me, I'm sorry, Dr. Dillon, you're a nice guy, but you'll go to hell. And you know what I tell them? I said, you know, that's okay, because Jesus will be there with me. And I said, he's omnipresent, right? Omnipresent means he's everywhere. So if there is such a place as hell, then he has to be there. Otherwise, he's not omnipresent. And, you know, we blindly follow some of these dogmas, not even stopping to think about what they really mean. And so when people ask me if I'm a Christian, I say yes. I believe in the Christ consciousness. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in Buddha. I believe in Buddha awareness. And so, to me, it really hurts me to see, you know, where you are, but my gosh, it's there. It's everywhere.
It's just an extension. Yeah, it's just an extension. Let me have you continue and just say your last words before we wind up, of whatever you want to share with the audience that you feel like are the last words to be spoken. If you want to continue.
The one thought I'd like to leave everyone with is a Shabad. And in our Guru Granth Sahib, there's writings from the Muslim saints, the Hindu saints, the untouchables. Every person that was spiritual enlightened has, a lot of them have something in our Guru Granth Sahib. And my favorite is Kabirji from around the 12th century. And he wrote the Shabad called Aval Allah Nurabaya. And he says, from the light, God created the creation. And everything came from the light. So if everything came from the perfect light, who is good and who is bad? And that is what I'd like to leave the audience with.
Thank you.
My one line takeaway would be just love. I would repeat it, Jin Prem Ki Hote Nikra Par. The only way to get absorbed with him or to reach him or to find him is through love. You have to spread this love. You have to be love and spread that love. That's the only mool mantra that someone can have.
Perfect. Julie.
Thank you. Thank you, Simran, for allowing us to be a part of this process. That's what I want to say. And the tragedy happened last year, and we keep going on, and the next one happens, and the next one happens, and years pass, and we forget the messages that were left behind and the people that were involved. I think the message needs to keep going on about love. I think we all need to keep pushing ourselves forward spiritually. And so thank you for sharing our story here and allowing the panel to be present to do it with us.
Thank you. What an honor to be a part of you.
And I want to thank. I turned it off. Hold on. I want to thank Simran and Jill for letting me and Manpreet for sending that email, and that, you know, that really got me into like, oh yes, I have to be there today. And I feel like Sati says, you know, it's just in the mind, darkness and light, and I see light in the future because that's how I perceive, you know, there's so much goodness in this world that we have to tap into, you know. So on that note, I'll thank, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simran, for coming here at Aurora, Sikh Temple, Wisconsin. And thank you for me and Mandeep who helped you bring me here. So I would say the last word is Ekyoka.
I just want to thank you, Simran, and of course the whole panel for participating and giving me this opportunity to share my views. And I think my last word would probably be oneness, where we started off from. We're all one, so we need to stop creating these divides. And that's what.
Wonderful, wonderful. Look at your family. Look at your family. These are your brothers and your sisters, your mothers and your fathers, your sons and your daughters, your aunts and your uncles. We are all family. And when I speak about oneness from darkness to light, I'm not saying you're moving from dark to the light. I'm saying that that is the oneness. That there's light in all of it. There may be distortions of the light, but there is light in all of it. We are each a unique genius. And when I talk about the rebel road, it is not about a fight on the outside. The rebel is not someone who's there to fight everything going on out there. The rebel is not someone who's now still fighting everything that's going on here. The rebel is finally saying, I'm willing to stand up and move beyond all excuses, limitations, belief systems, and constructs that have held me back from my truth. I'm willing to dive into my own unknown. And that unknown is not something out there to be afraid of. It's not a scary place. It's not a bad outcome, because there is only good in the world. There can only be good because there is only God. And that divine source and presence rests right here. So if I'm diving into that unknown, what am I diving into? The greater, larger expanse of myself. Are you ready to rise up? To take hands with all those that are different from you? Instead of staying anchored in your single focused vision of who you think you are, saying, I'm willing to expand now. Let me know more about you. Let me read your sacred text. Let me understand what you're here for. And let's find the connecting dots. And connect the dots from what was to what is. We are in love all of the time. We are with love all of the time. We are of love all of the time. Now is the moment to work, live, breathe, and play as love all of the time. I am your mirror right now. My name is Simran. Simran is from the lips of the divine to the ears of the divine. From the lips of the divine to the ears of the divine. From the lips of the divine to the ears of the divine. Will you see that in yourself? Sing is the lion and the lioness. Sing is what we're here to do, to sing a song. Will you let your soul sing its song? In love, of love, with love, and as love, on the rebel road, the Sikh Temple in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is my honor and pleasure. Until next time, be well.